Okay, Nate, well, it's now coming up on 24 weeks since you did the transition program, which means that the program, which is 12 weeks in length, has been done a while ago. But could you look back on that 12 weeks and tell us a little bit about what you remember and what your experience was from that 12 week?
It wasn't fun. First of all, it was really, really hard and very, very difficult. But honestly, I mean, all that's true. You know, learning a new way to eat is not fun. You know, getting into a routine and being disciplined with your personal time is not fun. But now here I am, you know, weeks later, and just the overall results are fantastic.
So you said it wasn't fun, it was hard. Let's look back on that, and you did it. What were some of the gains that you noticed from going through the program, that 12 weeks? What were some of the things that you see as rewards from that?
I would probably really say, you know, learning to take control of what I do and take responsibility. Learning about myself, about, I guess, food in general, and learning how to make it not a challenge. Not like it still isn't, you know, thought. There's a thought process to it, but it's not hard to sit there in the store and be like, what do I eat today? What's good for me? You know, will this be bad? And just be mindful in my everyday life with food without making it like the center of my attention. All right, for me, some of the big differences between this program and other programs is the fact that they really make an effort to say, hey, this is a lifestyle change. All right, and you know, when you talk about the nuts and bolts of it, I kind of look at it as a map to help you navigate how to eat. You know, versus this is what you eat. They try to teach you ways to be creative, to look at what options you have in front of you, and to make the best choices. And for me, one of the good things that's a motivator is like the small things. I think I said earlier, you know, it's easier for me to tie my shoes. I fit in, you know, office chairs better. I fit in my car better. You know, things that, you know, I can find more clothes options for me. And these are like little personal victories. Things that, you know, if you were like my size, like a 6 to 7X, that you know, if you're that size, you understand. If you're not, some things you might take for granted. That you got to look before you sit. You know, will this hold me? Am I gonna be able to go into the movies? You know, and sit comfortably. Things that you really don't want to tell anyone that's really close to you, and it's like you're guarded about it. I find myself worrying about those things less and less. And for me, you know, that's invaluable. And the other part is it's not like the food consumes my life. You know, they teach you, you know, make choices so the food doesn't control you. It's like, I gotta eat lunch. I'm gonna enjoy what I eat. I'm gonna move on. You know? And that's really about it. There's not this huge, I guess, strain like there used to be in like, what am I eating? How am I planning? You know, you almost look at like most diets as being very, you know, finite, very temporal. This is more, okay, this is go live your life, you know, and I like that a lot more. And it's more, I guess, effective.
So Nate, again, it was a while back. It's now 24 weeks out past the thing. You did the first 12 weeks. I'm going to put you on the hot seat here. Give me some specifics of the things that you saw that changed in your body over that 12-week time.
See, that's kind of a hard question during the 12-week time, because when you're in the eye of the storm, you don't necessarily notice it. I mean, I think, notice the fact that, I don't know, that's a tough question, because it's a little, we're a little removed from the situation, and I need some thought on that one. You know, you do feel better, I guess. After I guess maybe it's kind of like going through rehab, which I've never done. And you know, the first week you feel miserable because you're learning a whole bunch of new things. So it's a physical thing, it's a mental thing, it's a pride thing.
So,
I wasn't finished.
Oh yes, you were.
No, I was just saying.
Just saying. So
it got better.
Yes, it got better. Okay. Well, I know that you lost 48 inches. Talk to me about energy levels. Talk to me about being a businessman, the stresses and strains of going through a business. Did you notice any change in how you went through life as you were doing the 12 weeks? No.
Well, yes, there is a change. I don't know. I wouldn't really say there was a difference in the stress level. If anything, I was more stressed. I'm just being honest here.
Yeah.
Because not only do you have your everyday life to worry about, but now you have food. And something that was really simple before. If you're hungry, you order pizza. If you're hungry, you eat potato chips. If you're, whenever you want. If you're bored, you go do this. Now you actually have to be mindful of it. So it's difficult, but I want to say it's definitely more than worth it.
Okay. Today, could you describe for us what you're feeling in terms of your energy levels, what you feel in terms of your overall health?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'd feel like 1,000 times better without even really knowing how I felt before. It just was the way it was. But when you start, I guess, moving better, when you start having more endurance, more stamina, where I don't get winded, walking up a hill, when, you can bend down and tie your shoes comfortably, and you're like, wow, I didn't realize it was uncomfortable before. When you're not dozing off at, odd hours of the day, even though if I'm really, really tired. So there's all these little things which make a really big thing of like higher energy, more endurance, and just overall general, you just feel better. It's like when you're sick, like physically sick with like a cold, if you have a cold for a long time, it's like you almost trying to remember how you felt. Like, how does it feel to not be sick? And then when you're healthy, you're like, oh, that's fantastic. I don't feel sick anymore. So I'm kind of in that stage where I just don't really feel sick anymore.
Well, I guess the last question I have for you, Nate, is obviously we live in a culture where obesity and weight gain and all of the health problems associated with that are paramount at this time. Would you tell us why you think this program would be good for someone out there who perhaps has tried other programs and done things that haven't given them what they desired or reached their goals?
Actually, one of the things I found different in the transitions mentality is they don't believe that this is a diet, first of all, like a diet that's temporary. It's a lifestyle. And they also don't believe it's just for people who are overweight. They want everyone to eat this way. So when I thought of it that way, it felt less of this is something I'm doing because I'm overweight. I felt like this is something I'm doing because this is the right way to eat. And I thought that was a really huge, important thing. It's not like, you're on this particular shake and everyone else is eating, solid food or you're counting calories, and you got a calculator out there and an abacus, and everyone else is just like grabbing stuff, The transitions lifestyle, it says, hey, this is the way we were meant to eat. These things it's not that they're not just not good for you, they're not good for everybody.
Right.
And, just because you and I have a problem with it, not even a problem, but just because we're bigger, the choices we've made, have led us to this, or maybe our genetics are part of this, and there's a whole bunch, stress, things that we find comfort in food, or what. It teaches you to put a healthy perspective on food. That food is exactly what it is. It's fuel for the body. You can enjoy it, but it's not the end all be all. You have your life to live. And that's what I think I've been enjoying is just the freedom. In the transitions program, the first day, you have a little journal, which I'm horrible at filling out. But they ask you your reason for this. And for me, it wasn't really for anybody else. It wasn't so that I would be more quote-unquote normal. It was, I really wanted freedom. I wanted the ability to go certain places, do certain things that I just didn't have before. And I guess as my advice to anyone out there who's listening is that it's going to be really, really hard, but it's not impossible. It's not, you shouldn't feel lost. They're going to give you really clear-cut instructions. You follow them. You make choices. You adapt their system to your lifestyle without compromising on any of the big things. And then you just have realistic expectations.